Hello. Today I will be reading Shirley's Garden. I do not take my gorefic seriously, so this will be all done in one shot. I've heard it's quite a nice story. I haven't read it before, so we'll be surprised. Oh, even has an author's note. Some words in advance. It all begun as a joke in a chat room. Someone said, "We should totally write this," until I did. I realized that that's not much of an excuse for letting this loose on the world, but perhaps I'll just be a bit more paranoid when you get to the end of the story. Look back and wonder why I would ever think of something like this. At least we hope it will. Thanks to Charlie and Tash for joking around and inspiring the fanfic with your ideas. Thank you as well for all of the fuzz ideas, proofreading and continue to fire at the time. Thank you, Tabby Qualler, for all the proofreading you did. Yes, I'm skimming over the author's notes. Problem? No, we have no problem. And thanks also to every member of the MLP Team Central Steam group who randomly heard me talk about this and provided input. You're all helping your way. Okay, to the story. Cheerlee's Garden. An extremely grimdark, gory story by... I'm not even going to pronounce that, so I'm going to spell it. Unahim. The entire theater complex was abuzz with the force of 100 excited ponies. As cheerleee peeked out carefully from behind the curtains hiding the stage, she saw rows upon rows of ponies sitting in the stands or moving between them, talking to each other as they waited or tried to make one last trip to get some food and beverages before the show. She glanced quickly to the left and saw the musicians had already set up in the orchestra pits in front of the stage. They'd only be needed for a few scenes, but Cheerleee was still glad to have them. Seeing such a big crowd gathered there made her a bit nervous. Even though this had all been her idea, almost all of the seats were taken, and Charlie knew where there barely enough to accommodate the entire population of Ponyville. The show would be subjected to the scrutiny of a great many ponies' eyes indeed. Let me repeat that. The show would be subjected to the scrutiny of a great many ponies' eyes indeed. Many pony eyes indeed. Okay, yeah. She retired back behind the curtains, hoping nobody had seen her. She felt that would somehow be unprofessional. Everything seemed to be in order as she inspected the stage for the last time. All the props and equipment were beautifully made, straight from the hoofs of the masters. Cheerleee had only need to tell them what she needed, and they had provided it without any questions, even though certain items had seemed unnecessary. After all, they did not know what she had in mind for this night, while she did. She was quite sure some of their props would make even a professional theater jealous. The stage was divided into sections, each team notating its supposed location. This way, they didn't need time or backstage ponies to change the decor after each act, putting down the time needed for scene changes. Cheerleee was a big fan of this system, as it meant that there was only one less thing for her to worry about. She turned back and headed for the stage left, where her students were busy getting all dressed up. There was a total chaos, with bits and pieces of costumes scattered across the room, as if there were sprinkles on a cupcake. At the center of this mess were the Cutie Mark Crusaders, as Charlie had come to expect. In fact, none of them had sprouted a making trouble Cutie Mark, yet surprised her each and every day. Hey, that's my helmet, Scootaloo told Sweetieville accusingly. Yours is way over there. No, it sure isn't, she replied as she lifted the knightly helmet off of her head and held it up for Scootaloo to inspect. Oh, fuck, I'm messing up these lines. This one with the hole is for my horn, see? Okay, I cannot do a Sweetieville voice. Oh, you're sure it ain't my helmet? Appleloon interjected as she scratched her head. The king was a crown, the two snapped back. Cheerliee sighed as she quickly threw a glance at her other students, Silver Spoon and Diamond Tiara, seeing his progress orderly if slowly, mainly due to how constantly Flourish and admired each other. After every article of clothing they put on, and after every single brush of their mane, Snips was, to her great surprise, ready and waiting. The fact that Snails was backstage on tech duty might have something to do with that, she mused. She remained confident they'd make it in time. She had force her to start them all on her preparations much earlier than any pony would have thought necessary. She had come to know this little group throughout the months, and she was prepared for almost anything. Nothing could possibly go wrong today. She had put too much planning and work into all of it to see it fail now. She smiled as she envied. Yeah. She smiled as she envied peace, quiet, and tranquility and relief she'd feel when this war was all over. "All right, student," she chimed. "Let me just run you through the steps one last time." There was much growing to be heard across the room, but cheerliee wasn't making any chances with this bunch. "If you still have a part to play, but aren't needed on set, come back here. If your role is all played out, exit the stage on the other side. You'll be able to watch the rest of the play from there. That is, if you didn't see it enough already." She paused a moment for the assertion everybody was still. I'm really fucking up my speech today. She paused for a moment to assertion. Okay. Ascertain. I know I'm fucking that word up so. Well, what do you expect? She paused for a moment to ascertain every pony was still listening, and they all nodded. "If you forgot your lines, just improvise or pick up from a point in the script you do recall. If the pony you're playing with skips some of your lines, don't try to correct them. Remember, we may notice if somebody doesn't follow the script, but the audience won't as long as they keep the dialogue flowing." That's actually a good tip. I might use that in my fanfic readings. The fillies and Snips nodded again, but cheerily smiled at them. "Good, now get ready. I have to see to the opening of the show, so be ready and on set in no more than 10 minutes." She walked away as the young ponies got back to it. Cheerily thought they seemed to quarrel and delay slightly less this time, though it was probably just her imagination. The last one she had to check up on was Snails, who she put backstage due to his absolute inability to do even the most basic of acting. All he'd have to do was listen for certain cues and then carry out one specific action. She had written all of that down on a list that was easy enough to follow, even for him. Up to this point, he'd been okay during their practices, but you never know. It's pretty nice so far. I like it. Seems like it's setting up for something perverse and twisted, which would be fun to read.